Today we're going to do an unboxing and setup of this new CO2 kit made by Colombo. Coming up. Welcome guys to another episode of Natquascape. If you're new to the channel, then consider subscribing and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on me setting up low, medium and high-tech planted aquariums and also doing unboxings and reviews of products related to aquascaping. So the main aspect of this product is that you mix two ingredients together to produce CO2 in the bottle. So the bottle itself is made from stainless steel. If it actually does work, how well will it work? Well, today we're gonna find out. So let's take a closer look at this, take everything out of the box and set it up. You refill the bottle yourself using the components is that it's probably more environmentally friendly, meaning that if you've got disposable CO2 bottles, you have to dispose of the bottles, and if you've got refillable bottles, well then you have to go somewhere to kind of refill those bottles. You know, we've really got to be thinking about our carbon footprint. Okay guys, so this is what you get when you open the box. We have the stainless steel cylinder. We have a glass diffuser. So let me just get this out of the bag. Really nice that we have a glass diffuser and it looks great as well. Included is a bubble counter which actually fits directly onto the pressure regulator. We have a packet of spares and accessories, including a non-return valve. So let's just open this and see what we get. An Allen key, spare O-rings as well, so that fits on the bottom of that regulator. And we've got, you know, spare parts as well that can fit on there as well. So that's really handy that, you know, they give you these spare parts and also, you know, some small little O-rings as well as spare parts. Basically these go into a moisture filter. So this is the moisture filter that just stops any moisture from, you know, entering the system, because obviously the cylinder contains water. So that's really good. You got your mains, you got your tubing, okay, you've got all of the suction cups and everything that you need, and the non-return valve. So first time I'm unboxing this and taking it out of the box, just so that, you know, you get a first-hand experience, just like I am, of what we get with this whole system. So let's get all of these out. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 suction cups, and we've got a non-return valve. Everything you need to get started, including the airline. This does feel like it is definitely CO2 resistant tubing, so that's good. You got a mains plug as well. What would you need a mains plug for a CO2 system? Well, with this particular CO2 system, you get a solenoid. This can be plugged into a timer so you can switch on and off the CO2. So I'm not sure whether this is a kind of first in its class type of product where you have this kind of setup using not a DIY CO2 system, but where you're generating CO2 in situ within the bottle. So yeah, it's got a solenoid on there as well. So that is absolutely fantastic. And finally, we have the CO2 bolt. So let's just get that out 1 second. So there we have the bottle itself, made from stainless steel. Feels quite, you know, robust. Last but not least, we get a stand for our stainless steel bottle. So they've obviously, you know, thought of everything. Once I start using the product, I may have suggestions. Nothing's perfect in life, But, you know, if, upon first-hand inspection, you know, I'm quite impressed, to be honest. But let's see how it works, setting it up and getting it sorted. Okay guys, so I thought I'll just get everything on the table and we can just set it up together. So yeah, first time I'm actually looking at the manual apart from when I was just figuring a few little bits and bobs out. So we need to do a bit of pre-preparation, really easy stuff. Here is the regulator. Okay, this is the CO2 regulator. In that, we're gonna put in this. This is the moisture filter. In the moisture filter goes some of these beads. So these are just beads that probably mop up some moisture, and it just kind of really prevents any moisture getting into the regulator itself. So that's good. So let's pop these in. Okay, get the bag, get these beads in. Okay, so with the kind of drying agent moisture beads in place, that can then screw onto here. There doesn't seem to be any kind of ring for that. I think you just screw that on, that's fine. This is just like a kind of air stone type of ceramic disc just to stop moisture getting in, so that's absolutely fine. Okay, so I'm going to look at the components A and B that need to go in here, and then once we have the components in, we add some water and that will start producing CO2. So let's have a look. So we get 3 bags of component A and 3 bags of component B. So what is the ingredients? So make sure you read the instructions clearly, because you know you don't want any skin irritation or anything happening. These are quite mild chemical reagents, but you still really need to be careful, okay? Speaking as an organic medicinal chemist, trust me, I know what I'm saying. So sodium hydrogen carbonate, citric acid, no problem. That produces CO2. You want to make sure that the needle valve is closed and you get that on nice and tight by hand only, okay? You don't need a wrench or anything, just by hand. So let's go and do that. I'll just cut a little hole in there so that I can create an opening, add the components in. Snip that off perpendicular or straight. Okay, so that goes in there. Refill component A goes in, which is the citric acid. So it's just a standard acid-base reaction. So don't know if you can see in the camera, it might be a bit too bright, but that is the crystals of citric acid. So that can just go in like so. Pour it slowly, don't go too fast, because you might block the opening of the funnel. And if you go too fast, you just have citric acid gathering in the funnel and spilling over. So nice and easy. That's the acid. That is component A done. Let's snip open component B. You can just tear it like so. And that is the sodium hydrogen carbonate. So it's a base. In fact, it's an inorganic base. This is more of a powder rather than crystal. So again, you want to just add this slowly. You can probably see on camera there's a bit of, you know, dust of sodium hydrogen carbonate forming. Sodium hydrogen carbonate is just bicarbonate of soda, by the way. So I have 300 milliliters of water. So what I'm going to do is have my regulator to hand, and I'm literally going to pour that in. I can hear it fizzing already. In goes the regulator. That is reacting already. That's quite fast. Actually, that's really fast. You just want to tighten by hand. There we go. Okay. So the system is ready when it reaches about 10 bar of pressure. However, it says in the instructions that it could get up to about 22 bar, which is absolutely fine. Okay, so you can see that the dial on the pressure gauge has gone up. So after about an hour, it got to just under 10. And then I thought I'll just leave it overnight, and it's got to around about 20. So enough pressure in there and I've not seen any pressure loss. Let's get everything else set up onto the 90 litre Superfish aquascaping tank. Okay, so next goes on this bubble counter with a solenoid. So that is really impressive. This bubble counter just literally fits on there. And what you do is just pull that valve down. Okay, make sure that pulls down and then push that in. So make sure it's pushed all the way and it locks in there. So at this point, you obviously want to make sure that the needle valve is closed. What we're going to do now is just fill that up with water, plug this in. I'm just going to untwist that off. CO2 tubing will fit through there onto here. Put that back on there. Don't worry, that is locked in. So you can have your plug coming in from the front, coming in from the side, all depending where your plug socket is. Now it's just a point of unwrapping the tubing that comes with the kit and plummeting the CO2 tubing. Okay guys, so what's really cool is that the whole CO2 set comes with this glass diffuser. So that's glass with a ceramic disc. However, for the purpose of this aquascape, I'm going to be using a new product sent by AQUARIUM, which is their Scapers CO2 set. This is the 25 centimeter one that I've got. And what's really cool is that basically it has this little crimp valve, whatever it's called, I'm not sure, but again, just like you have on the CO2 bottle to pop on the bubble counter, you just press that in, that goes in there, and then your tubing, you know what you'll do, pull that down, okay, just push that down, push the tubing in, let it go, and it'll crimp on, and hopefully you'll get a nice seal. This kind of gizmo in line as well. Let's see if we get efficient CO2 transfer from the bottle to the diffuser. Alright, so you see me set up the CO2, I've got the light on there as well, and there's the hang-on back filter just there. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to do a water change on the scaped tanks that are just there. So I'll do a water change on them, but I'm going to put the mature water into this tank. So everything you see here in the tank is all supplied by Superfish, Aquadistry, Aquafleur, the plants. It's got hang-on back filter, as you can see here. This is the CO2. This is at around about 2 bubbles per second. And what I've done is I've just positioned this so that it is directly underneath the flow of this hang-on back filter. First time I'm using a hang-on back filter, never used one before. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on me escaping this tank and seeing if all of this setup actually gives me good plant growth. For now, ta-ra.